Okay, here we are. This is the open live stream, normally reserved for members only, Monday through Friday. But on Saturday, we open it up to everyone. So uh, jump on in. It is the Morning Rise and Shine members only live stream for the channel. Like I said, Saturday is open to everyone though, but we do this every morning. And it's just, have some coffee, shoot the shit a little bit. Terry is in the house. Wind song. I got your text or wind song. I was in the middle of setting this up when I got it. Good morning, everybody. Kevin, Whiskey Rebel, KRB331, Jeffrey, running the weeded bourbon right now. That's awesome. That's awesome. Robert, good morning. So, I got someone running some weeded bourbon right now. Zach is going to be running today. We're going to be doing a lot of recording today. He's going to be mashing. He's going to attempt to mash in 150 gallons of 3 different runs. So today's going to be a little bit crazy. Oh, good morning, everybody. Hey, Dustin, I'm glad you got the package. Matt, good morning. Good morning, Scott. I got your message. I got your email earlier, Scott. I will certainly surprise you then. If that's what you want me to do, I will certainly do it. I'll get something out in place of that blue corn. Hey, Cy, got a question. Did your starter kit last night and ready to pitch? What's a good gravity for it? I'm at 1087. 1087 is going to be just fine. Maybe a little high compared to where I usually like it, but 1087 is going to be fine. If you have any yeast nutrient, you might consider not the yeast nutrient. I'm sorry. Some crushed oyster shells or something. It's possible that the pH might drop a little, but maybe not. 1087 is kind of borderline where you got to start worrying about that. But yeah. That'll turn out great, brother. Flatland is running a 100% malted rye. Kevin's running another pot of coffee. That's awesome. So am I. Just made another pot. Usually I drink all the coffee before Zach gets here. And then, he shows up, he's got to make another pot. So I actually remembered to make another pot, so maybe he can grab a cup as soon as he gets in, which I hear his truck pulling up now. Just jumping on long enough to say good morning, everybody. Back to work I go. Y'all have a great day. You too, Richard. Sell lots of stuff. Have a good day. Zach is in the house.
Fired our guns and the British kept coming. It was not as many as it was a while ago. What y'all doing?
So,
Woo Pigs, y'all see our basketball team just doing so good? Playing again today, 140. Go Pigs. We got some Louisiana folks in here. How's that make y'all feel, seeing the Pigs do so good?
or do we have any Kansas fans? Are they in there?
Oh, ouch.
So for those of you that aren't aware, if you're in the live and you're not a channel member, we do this morning live every morning, Monday through Saturday. But Monday through Friday, it's for members only. And on Saturday, we go live for, everybody. But if you're interested in joining the channel, you can do that down below at the description next to the subscribe button. If you're on iPhone, it's a little more difficult. I apologize, but we can talk about that. If someone's in here on the iPhone and is trying to
claim a membership or get a membership.
Claim or get a membership, just let us know. We'll walk you through it. Hey Cyrus, I joined the live stream channel. I'm pretty sure, but I can't access the morning live stream. Can you check on that for me? Thanks. KRB331. I will check on that for you. Let me go grab a pen.
Is that a ham radio handle?
I have no idea.
What are y'all doing this morning?
Okay, I'll make a note for KRB331. I really...
Scott Bryan upgraded his membership to bootlegger.
Whoop, whoop.
Look at that.
Now, I will say, Scott, all memberships are kind of the same right now.
Yeah, we're working on it though. They won't always be.
Yeah, so the still hands, the way we set it up, the still hands don't get access to the morning live, but I've just been doing it anyway, just because the channel membership is brand new, so kind of everybody gets the same perks right now. But there will be some differences soon. Scott's a bootlegger now. Let's see, what was that? We did bourbon this morning. That's right, Jeffrey.
Look at Whiskey Rebel there. Morning, Zach. About to do my first run. Pitching this morning.
Woo,
Firm handshakes all around. I know you'll do well.
No initials and mine. Oh, it's your initials and your number. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a BR549.
KRB, I'm just going to tell you, I don't really, YouTube controls the membership, so I don't have a lot of, I can just get in there and check it and see if KRB 331 is a listed member, and that's pretty much the extent of what I can do. But I will check on that for you and try to get back to you, try to figure out how to get back to you. I'm new to the channel membership thing.
Roy Palmer's got a question for you. He says, morning, Cyrus. I'm trying an apple moonshine. Some of the recipes I see on YouTube use cereal. At what stage is the cereal added?
An apple moonshine with cereal.
We've done.
I would think that if you're adding cereal, it's just going to be in the mash. So it's at the point in which you're mashing in, you're cooking your grains, and you're, just before you pitch your yeast. I can't imagine adding cereal post-flavored.
Maybe it's like an Apple Jacks or something.
I don't.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be during your fermentation process at the beginning, or during your mash process.
David Edmonds, welcome to Stillhand, brother. Welcome to the club.
There was also something back here. I was wanting to. I don't
Sorry.
remember. I lost it. Rick's in the house. Good morning, Rick. Yeah, so we've been getting quite a few memberships in the last few weeks, and I just want to thank you guys for supporting the channel.
Yeah.
In that way. We're going to try and make it worth it by giving channel members extra content that not everybody else gets. We've got a lot of ideas for ways that we can do that, and we haven't settled on a lot of stuff yet. It's going to be kind of a growing process, and especially to those of you who do a lot of gifting, thank you very much. It gets people into the membership to see what it's like. Some of them fall off and don't renew, but some of them do, and it's really helpful. So folks like Rick and Clinton, you guys are really helping a lot, and just wanted to give our appreciation to you for that.
Yeah, it's a huge help, and we are basically spending our whole day today filming various different things and some stuff that we've been needing to get to, and some big stuff that's coming up that we're excited to show you guys. So yeah, everybody who supports the channel and chooses to do the $1.99 membership, it's a big help. So appreciate that. Love all the helpful info.
Yeah. If y'all haven't used a spin dryer, it's life changing. Yeah.
Like one of those little centrifuge deals that just spins all the juice out of the grain.
Yeah, for sure. We're probably gonna have to break down and buy one of those just to check it out.
Yeah.
Just get one off Amazon.
Yeah.
And
They're not terribly expensive, I don't think.
I imagine they're not. I haven't looked them up, but
They're probably what, like 120 little spin.
yeah. My guess is maybe $100 bill. somewhere around there.
Cool.
What did you give for yours, Jeffrey?
Beaver's probably got one out there for $39.99.
Beaver's probably got one.
Well, check Shua's channel.
Yeah, check you out.
I'm just kidding, Shua, if you're in here, that was a joke. Kind of.
Whiskey Rebel's going to attempt to make one, I think, if I'm reading that right. The spin dryer idea.
Zach needs it for his 150-gallon mashes. I don't know what I'm going to do with all that spent grain. I'd like to do something with it. It's going to be a lot of it. I'd hate to just waste it, but maybe sour mash or I don't know.
A little too early to go put it out for the deer, isn't it?
Yeah. Some pigs, though, I guess I could set up on some. Yeah, I might. I don't know. That could be an interesting little segue video.
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
set it up down in Hackett on the land and shot some pigs off of it. That'd be pretty cool.
Right. Jeffrey says he can't remember, but between 100 and 130. That's about what I figured.
Yeah.
I saw one that was manual with pull strings. I'm not sure I'm into that.
Terry, I'm thinking maybe the same thing you are. A little sour mash situation.
Yeah. Just always have 150 gallons going in here at all times.
I don't know.
That'd be nuts.
Some heirloom corn sour mash, some super simple, some beginner bourbon. Good morning, Shotty friends. Honored to finally get to see the morning show. Well, Neil, we're glad you're here, brother. Grab a coffee or, I don't know.
Glad
I'm
you
not,
made it.
You know, this isn't a meeting. I'm not your sponsor. You can drink whatever you want.
Yeah, Neil, the morning lives that are open to the public are every Saturday. Every Saturday, 8:30 Central Standard Time. If you want to catch them every time. We also do them Monday through Friday, but they're for members only. $1.99 a month, and you can join them every morning.
It smells like piss. You talking about a mash?
Maybe.
Oh God.
Maybe the spent grain we were talking about. I don't know.
A little pissy.
Oh, let me turn off all my notifications here. Do not disturb. Now I'll forget to turn that back on, and I'll
Miss a
miss
bunch of
calls all
stuff.
day. This is definitely not an AA meeting. That's on another channel, for sure.
Might want to get that looked at, Ken. Kevin said. What was that deal popping up down there that said member and then just kind of went away? It had a little.
I think somebody got a membership, but I didn't see a name, or it might have just been left there from when,
Where he joined.
yeah, I don't know. Already had myself pre-subscribed, shot of 100 proof. This AM helps to clear the pipes. It sure will. Clear things right up first thing in the morning, won't
Good
it?
Lord. Since I reuse my corn, I don't collect the mash once it gets into the grain. Hold on, let me go back up. Comments are coming a little quick. I don't collect the mash once it gets into the grain. I leave that liquid in it and rerun with 10 to 15 pounds of fresh corn. I like that.
Yeah, not bad at all.
The Olympic Diary. Hey guys, what's your favorite corn variety? What's your favorite? I know what yours is.
My favorite corn variety, I don't know for sure, because I'm like, got 4 new ones that I haven't tried yet. That I'm gonna withhold that and decide later.
As of right now, mine is Yellow Dent, just because that's what we've always used and that's what we mash with. I love a good yellow corn. But we are mashing in some Trucker's Favorite and some Hickory King White, both white heirloom corns. So excited to kind of play around with those today. But I'll get back to you on that one. Roy Palmer, I'm making my toasted oak sticks. I'm using old white oak boards and toasting on a charcoal grill. Some of the spirit does not take color, doesn't seem to matter what the proof is, and I'm wondering why.
You may not be toasting them long enough. Also, if you char them, the char brings out a lot more color than the toast.
Yeah. If you char them, there's nothing you can do about it. You will get color. The toast, now, everything that we've ever toasted, and I've put down in some of the aging stuff that I'm doing. If you guys follow me on TikTok, you've seen some of that, or the Homebrew Center YouTube shorts. They have all taken the color very well, and I'm very happy with how they're coming along so far. So yeah, maybe toast a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest. If you're not getting any color, and give it plenty of time. I don't know what kind of time frame you're looking at and saying that they didn't pull any color.
I used some blue, hoping some bourbons last summer came out really well. Nice.
Awesome.
Ever tried fresh or frozen corn blended to a puree? Thought about trying that at some point.
I have not. I think I might like to try that in a Thumper, though.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about for the 24-hour live stream, maybe putting some of that ground heirloom corn in the Thumper and
Yeah.
seeing if that imparts any more flavor. Some of these white corns and the blue, I think, have a real strong. They have a real strong peanut butter aroma to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just mine. I could be the only one that thinks that. I don't know.
Let's scoop this back a little bit. Let's see if we can get a little.
There we go. Blue hoppy, yeah. The blue hoppy seems to be a very popular one.
Hopi, I think.
Hopi. Blue hoppy. I always call
From
it
the
hoppy.
Indians. Hopis.
Hopi.
I think.
I don't know. I want to get my hands on some of that Oaxacan, that grain corn. That stuff just looks pretty. I don't know what kind of liquor it makes, but I don't know. I'm fascinated by colors and shapes.
Yeah.
I'm a simple creature.
White oak barrels? How old?
White oak boards.
White oak boards. How old?
Just seasoned white oak. I don't know.
Yeah, just as long as they're well seasoned. Even if you if you get some that have been dried in a kiln, which are not, if you can find some naturally seasoned, that's probably the best. But when you find it that way, it's quite a bit more expensive.
Jeff says I want to add some. Oh, go ahead.
But I've known people that just go down to a local wood shop, not like Lowe's or Home Depot, but a place that specializes in trim carpentry and millwork and all of that, and bought oak there and used it. The hard thing about just running down to Lowe's or Home Depot to pick up some oak, which is dried and seasoned and all of that, they, for the most part, they only carry red oak.
Yeah.
And red oak is not nearly as good as white oak.
Jeffrey said, I want to add some sorghum grain to a whiskey this year. Sorghum, I've seen guys taking the sorghum because it has a pretty high sugar content and kind of squeezing it out and running it processing it like a sugar cane. I've seen guys doing that for kind of the sugar and just kind of I don't know if they cook it before they do that or swell it in water or just run it raw, but I've seen them running stems and all and working those and getting some of the sugar content out of them. Had a guy come in and he was talking about the birch sap, the maple sap and the maple syrup and stuff. It's, I guess, essentially the same thing, but a lot of different cool ways guys are putting sugar into their mash other than just a straight granulated sugar. Would toasting wormy chestnut work, or is that not the right wood? I wouldn't be able to opine one way or the other on that.
It is a hardwood, so I've never tried it. I always say there's only one way to find out.
Yeah. I would think you'd know pretty quick if it was going to be desirable or not. That said, you should be able to Google that sort of a thing and get a pretty good idea. If you're either not seeing anything or you're seeing something that's like, oh yeah, I won't do that. Yeah, I would think it's on the internet somewhere as to whether it will be good or bad.
Somewhere someone is describing their experience with it.
It has a juice like sugar cane, but also produces a grain at the top of the plant. Yeah, it heads out if it grows long enough. I've got a buddy down the road that's got a big feedlot in Arcoma, and they do sorghum, soybeans, all kinds of stuff really. And I've been tempted to go over there and be like, hey, give me Give me a couple hundred pounds of that sorghum. I'm
Give
gonna
me a
play around
barrel of
with
this.
it.
Morning, Pure Poison. Good to see you in here, brother.
The sorghum grain was on our favorite moonshiner show as a couple weeks ago. Supposedly, it didn't turn out good. Well, no.
Uh-oh.
I know that it is a popular one that guys mess around with. I haven't seen them mashing with it, but I've seen guys maybe, again, I don't know if they were hydrating it or just doing it raw, but pressing the juice out of it, running it through like you see them do a sugar cane. I don't know. Milo, yeah, okay, Jeff, I think you're right. I've heard the distinction that Milo and sorghum are kind of one and the same. I think they're technically a different. I don't know what the word is for that. Not strain or. I think they're technically different, but
I think we had this discussion in a live somewhere, and I think Adam looked it up even.
what was the outcome?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But
Tickle
Scott,
Rain.
I let Scott know that we were out of blue, and that we would ship it as soon as we got it. And he said, "Just send me something else, just to surprise me." So
Okay.
we're just going to surprise him. So
How do you feel about red corns, Jimmy or Butcher? Actually, yeah, we'll just surprise you,
we'll just surprise you.
and I'll throw you a koozie in there just as my way of saying sorry we ran out.
Sorry,
we do have the others on its way. Bar 10, morning fellas. Hope you'll have a great day. You too, brother. That's a rancher right there. That's a cattle
Bar 10?
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta be. Sorghum is the plant. Milo is the grain. Okay, I can buy. Yeah, okay. I think that is
Makes sense
where
to
we
me.
landed on. Heads out. Quail love the Milo. My God, they cannot stay away from it. I think deer love it too. Love the red corn, anything but yellow. Okay, well, we're not going to send them a yellow den, I don't guess.
Right.
You wouldn't get a lot of bang for your buck out of 10 pounds of yellow den on the heirloom price.
Yeah, that's not a fair deal.
That's not great. I use blackjack oak out of the yard. Turns red, has a bold flavor. Blackjack oak?
Yeah, I bet it does have bold flavors.
What is that, blackjack?
I think we call.
Like a
I
pin
think we
oak?
call them post oaks around here.
Post oaks. Okay. We've got water oaks, pin oaks, post oaks, red oak, white oak.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all the oaks I can think of right now.
We got 26 people in the chat. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you guys don't mind. Maybe we can get a few more people in here.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of filming today to do. Zach is going to try and mash in just a crap load of grain today,
Yep.
and we're going to record as much of it as we can. So yeah, maybe make a bunch of shorts. Who knows what all we'll record today, but we're going to try and, focus the day on just recording stuff.
Logistically, just moving all these barrels around in here because we're going to film. We've got to film them in a certain area, and then we've got to move them over to where they're just going to set and be. And so we've talked about how the best way is to do that. I think we landed on we're going to use our pallet jack and a pallet, try to get all 3 barrels on there, and
It's going to be interesting.
I'm thinking honestly, we just clean that out back there, get them on the pallet, and then just move them and don't even move them off the pallet.
I agree.
Just leave them on there and set them off and be done with them.
I agree.
I'm scared to death we're going to spill one of them big old things in here. God, that'd be a mess.
Yeah.
We've got locking lids, but I mean, I think if you send a barrel over sideways, that lid may not be able to hold on.
Maybe. That's a hard job in one day. Yeah, he's going to be humping it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be watching. I'm not helping or nothing. I'm going to watch and laugh and point.
We're screwed.
Oh, Limbic Diary. Let's mash. Apple brandy on the schedule for me. That's awesome.
I love apple brandy.
How are you liking your Alembic still? Are you still running the Alembic? I haven't seen any of your videos in quite a while. Are you still running that same still? Supervising, that's right, Jeff.
Yeah, he's gonna make sure I don't screw anything up, or he's gonna help me screw something up.
Yeah, one or the other.
It'll be. We'll shoulder the outcome no matter what happens. Ended up getting. Oh, what? Never mind.
The hit that like button, Papican Ken says. Thank you.
Papa can.
Yeah, thank y'all for joining the live this morning and hanging out with us. We always have a good time. We hope you have a good time. We got a whole bunch. How many kits did we get out yesterday?
25.
25 kits shipped out yesterday, and I think we've got 10 to ship out today. So a light day on the kits.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Considering there was 0 at like 2 or 3 p.m. whenever we quit packing.
Yeah. And I think we maybe have the website issue solved.
It should be no more problems for anybody on the shipping error or no shipping option selected. I think we fixed all that. I mean, I don't want
to jinx it, but
I'm gonna knock on some floor there, but I mean, God, that was super aggravating.
yeah. So we won't know for sure. We never know for sure if it's fixed until someone sends us an email saying, "Hey, I tried to order and it didn't work." So if you're in here and you run into a point where you're trying to order and something's wrong with the website, please just send me an email and let me know, because otherwise I don't even know if something's wrong with the website. Dustin, my STC on the grain fermenters on a furniture dolly so I can roll it around the garage. That's an excellent idea. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hope everybody has a good day. Yes, sir.
Kevin, my man.
Whiskey Rebel says, get Cyrus a stir stick with a kickstand so he can supervise proper.
I had to lean on that thing.
Yeah.
The Olympic Diary says, well, no, I've got a new 10-gallon Thumper still a couple months ago. And I love it. I like the Olympic, but it feels kind of limiting. So now I'm doing all things with my Thumper. I like the Olympics. I think are perfect for the brandies. If that's what you like, I think you said you were doing an apple brandy. I think they're perfect for brandies. That said, I've ran them in the North Georgia with the Thumper, and I thought they were awesome that way too. So I don't know. I mean, I think the Olympic is just like perfect for a brandy though.
Yeah.
I really like them for that.
Yeah, I like, there's a lot of advantages to the Olympic. First and foremost being the simplicity. I think it's a real good first still because of the simplicity of it. And anything you would run a single pot run on, it's really good for.
Scott said, someone suggested I restart my ferment by shaking the ferment up and stirring in some on Thursday night. I did that and it has dropped a whole point in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes that will help. Especially if it didn't get oxygenated properly at the beginning of the ferment.
Later, Terry. Kevin Strickler, I made my kit. I ordered the last batch. I'm thinking I'm ready to try my own all-grain mash bill. Wish me luck. I really appreciate all your videos and information you provided. Y'all are awesome. Well, heck yeah,
Awesome.
Brother.
Awesome. Yeah, good luck on your first mash bill.
Kevin, consider one of the all-grain kits on the Still in the Clear website. Come with step-by-step directions. I think super helpful if you're running your first all-grain. If nothing else, for the alpha and gluco and the specific pinch points and holding and the steps that go into that, super helpful. People seem to have good success with them.
I think he's already ran some of our all grain kits.
Oh, nice.
I think
He's
saying
about to do his. Okay, I got
his
you.
own mash bill.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine you've probably already seen it on the YouTube channel because it's a pretty recent video. But one of my last last few uploads is how to create your own mash bill and how to do the math and all of that. So if you haven't watched that, be sure and watch that. It'll be real helpful when you're creating your own mash bill. Yeah, limbic still's easy to clean too. That's right. See you later, Terry.
Pure Poison says, when I run my wine must, y'all calling that a true brandy? I'm not being a smartass, serious question. So yeah, if you make a wine and you put it in your still, that's a brandy.
That is exactly what a brandy is.
Yep. Where are you fellas at this morning? We're out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. I have bought 4 of the kits. I love them, and I will keep buying them. Well, hell yeah, Brian.
That's awesome.
We've got some. We've got really good alpha and gluco on the website too. It comes in 8-ounce pouches. Make a whole bunch with it.
Yeah, if you're starting to make your own mash bills and do your own, create your own stuff,
Yeah.
and you still want to use the alpha and gluco, we've got that on the website in 8-ounce pack. You know, a twin pack of both the alpha and the gluco. What I think is one of the best things about how we sell our alpha and gluco compared to everyone else is we also sell a syringe and a tube so that you can get your dosing exactly. Because everybody else, you just get a tube of it,
Yep.
and then you're like, oh, well, how do I got to measure out 8 milliliters.
How do I do that?
Yeah, so we send you a 10 milliliter syringe, and that makes it easier to dose everything out. And you just rinse that syringe with hot water every time you use it, and it's always good.
Well, and it's also got, it's the same as what's in the kit, so it has a wide temperature range of when you can add it to your mash. So it's very user friendly. We've talked about this before. Not all the alphas and glucose are created equally. Some of them have very short temperature windows. This one's still the wide temperature window. So better shot at getting a full conversion with it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Strickler said, yeah, that was great. That was a great video. I'm so intrigued by all the science behind all this.
Yeah, Kevin,
As we all are.
Kevin, if you want to dig deep into the science, there's so much of it. There's so much, like I haven't touched most of it, honestly. You can get into, like maintaining a specific pH during fermentation and during your grain rest and doing a protein, that hole is very deep, brother.
Yeah.
Very deep. I've watched Cyrus's video on making mash your own with all the percentages probably 100 times, and I have 2 pages of notes on it. I'm still getting a kit, so I have more info. Yeah, awesome, brother. Appreciate you.
And also, like, you can get the kits, and then you can mimic the mash bills if you want to make more of them, or you have them, you know what the ratios are. So, I'm ready. I'm really excited to do some of the heirloom corn kits.
I know. We have some new kits that are going to be coming out in the future. One of them is going to be the American style malt whiskey, which the video will be coming out here at the end of the month. And I'll release that kit at the same time on the website. And then we're going to have some other kits with the heirloom corn, maybe like a blue bourbon or a Jimmy Red bourbon, all that kind of stuff, a red, white, and blue America, fun stuff like that.
I'd like to see a blue dog bourbon, like a blue corn left as a white dog, so it just doesn't have the charred oak in it.
Yeah.
Like that'd be cool, blue dog.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Called a blue tick hound. I don't know. Any thoughts on adding mash and tails in a thumper?
First of all, the first thought is, yeah, you can certainly do it. A lot of people do it. You can basically put anything you want to put in there. And
What's the idea with the tails?
you're just cleaning them up. Even in the tails, there is some good liquor in there.
Sure.
That just gets smeared all the way to the tails. And if you distill it another time, it's just you're gonna clean it up and get a little more liquor out of it.
I like it.
Any thoughts on adding mash and tails in a thumper at the same time? Well, yeah, you can do that too. I mean, honestly, you can add anything to the thumper. I've seen people put all kinds of stuff in their thumper, and you're going to get something different every time. So, yeah, just try it and see if you like it. That last one we ran, we just had some of the wash in there.
What would
right?
happen if you put a bunch of oak in there?
Probably nothing. I don't think that's going to do anything. Because oak requires time.
Right.
And so if you just put it in a thumper, it's not.
You don't think you get any kind of wood carryover?
I mean, maybe because of the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get something, sure.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. Has anyone ever done that? Have any of y'all ever put any like staves or chips in your thumper? Be curious to figure that out. I'm so glad I found your Saturday morning stream. Thanks, it's a lot of fun. I can nerd out all morning.
That's awesome.
Welcome,
yeah,
welcome to the Nerd Den.
Every Saturday morning. And that's just the open live for everyone. Of course, Monday through Friday, every morning, Monday through Friday, we're live too, but that's members only. So
I like to put Hawaiian Punch or Kool-Aid in my thumper.
hell, why not?
I like that. I like that. Scott asks, so who adds their tails to the next run or saves them up for a tails run? You know we do.
Yeah, we save them up. For us, tails and heads are both feints, and we'll do a feints run. You just don't want to stack them, especially if you're running a pot still specifically. You're going to get a lot of methanol. A lot of your methanol is going to be coming out in the tails, and so if you're going to rerun them, don't stack them. Meaning, don't rerun them and then save those tails and rerun them and save those tails, because you're adding more and more methanol by percentage cumulatively. So it's fine to rerun your tails once or twice, and then that batch, the next batch that you're getting out of that second run, that's for cleaning. Don't drink it, and then just start a new like feints jar.
Whiskey Rebel says, at 45 years old, I just sat on my floor and smiled. Just had my first ever bubble through my airlock. Feel like a sissy. Brother, you shouldn't feel that way.
That's the reaction everyone has when they get their first bubble.
I used to call Cyrus. So long before I worked here, when I was just coming in buying wine supplies and stuff like that, I used to call Cyrus and be like, hey, my bubble ratio was at like 3 or 4 bubbles every 10 seconds, and now it's only at like 1 every 30. Is everything like I used to really study the bubbles before
Yeah.
I kind of knew what was going on.
Timing it with a stopwatch.
Yeah, I was literally sitting there like watching them. So no, the bubbles fascinate everybody, and congrats, man. That's pretty cool. Would you worry about clogging your thumper tube with wood chips?
So,
Possibly. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I guess that could happen, for sure, which would be a problem because of the pressure. I wouldn't worry about it, me personally, on the stills that we run, because all of our stills have pressure relief valves. So if your still has a pressure relief valve, you don't really have to worry about it. But if it doesn't, maybe I wouldn't try that if I didn't have a pressure relief valve.
I would maybe use like, I don't know if chips is the right. Maybe if you had some spirals or a stave or something that can't, get up in there and block off the pipe, that might be a better way to go.
And if you have access to your thump, some thumpers are enclosed, and some are, you can open up and get to.
Sight glasses and
Yeah, if you can get into your thumper, then you can maybe put some copper mesh all around that inlet tube.
yeah.
That way nothing can get to it to clog it. That might be a solution.
Grown man acting like a child. That's great though. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
It brings it'll for sure definitely at the beginning, it will bring out the child in you, and probably throughout the whole your whole distilling career. I mean, we're all just kind of big dumb kids, you know. So, or I am at least. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but
Yeah, I agree. Big dumb kids.
so much pressure is traveling down that inlet tube. I feel like that would be a huge issue. It could be. I've never done it before. I'm not telling anybody to do it. I'm not saying I've done it with great success. I'm just curious about.
He says he feels like it wouldn't be a huge issue. So,
Oh.
Jeffrey,
Sorry.
the problem with a thumper line getting clogged happens before the steam is going through. So like while you've got everything in your thumper and your steel is coming up to temperature, things can get in that inlet tube and clog it up before you ever start having the steam. Sometimes also like if you're maybe you're not paying attention to the heat and the system cools down enough to where it stops creating the pressure, then things can back up in there. But
See if I can get a light down in here. And here's the thing too. I don't think in ours anyway that there, especially if you were using a stave, there's literally not enough room in there. I mean that thing
can't really
is
tell.
that thing. If you that right there, that thing is so close to the bottom you couldn't get a stave up under it.
I bet
And then in the inverse, the out going into the worm, you know, is all the way up here at the top. Yeah, right there. So you can't even see it coming down where the second one goes in. So I don't think it'd ever be an issue in our thumper, but not all thumpers are created equally.
yeah,
I think a mason jar thumper too would be fine.
yeah, I think the best solution is just make sure your steel has a relief valve on it. I mean, they're inexpensive. Even if you bought one and it doesn't come with one on it, to add one is very easy, and you can add it anywhere between the pot and the thumper inlet. So that whole system from the pot to the thumper inlet is the part that's pressurized. And so you can add it into the line arm, you can add it into the cap, wherever you want to add it. You can add it to the top of the thumper, and inexpensive and pretty easy to do, even with just minor soldering skills.
Kevin Egner asks, if I did another cleaning run, would I have to do another sack run? Don't want blue liquor. I don't. What is he saying?
So if
Did
you
he
do a
already
cleaning run with vinegar, the acid in the vinegar is going to make the copper patina if you have a copper still. And so days after the vinegar run, there's going to be a patina. And so if you've already done cleaning runs and sack runs in the past and you haven't done any modifications to the steel, you don't necessarily have to do another sack run. But the first jar or so after a vinegar run, if you don't do a sack run, is going to have a blue tint to it.
Oh, would he be able to, after post his vinegar run, would he be able to just do like a steam cleaning run?
I'm not sure. I've never done it that way. I've always just done a sack run every time I do a vinegar run. It's just how I do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the way to know for sure your next real run is going to be clean.
Or you could just plan on sacrificing the first couple jars, which, depending on the size of your run, are probably going to be heads anyway. And you may hold those out of your faints jar as opposed to adding them, I guess, in that situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You just have to look at them and see what you think of them. I do a steam run after my vinegar run and haven't had any issues with blue distillate.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can do a steam run after a vinegar run.
I would imagine if you fire a bunch of steam through that thing post your vinegar run, probably going to be fine. Also, if your school of thought is, well, I'm going to do this vinegar run and then I'm going to just make a run and count on my first couple jars, maybe you're not going to hurt anything by blowing some steam through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to have a worse outcome.
Right.
So I might just try the steam if if you don't have, Kevin, if you don't have a lot of mash laying around that you just can afford to, run. And, I think if I was brand new, only had a little bit of mash laying around, I'd probably try the vinegar run and then the steam run and then just maybe kind of expect that I might have a jar or 2 jars that come off a little tingy.
Yeah, and I've always, if I didn't have any liquor to run for a sacrificial run, I would just go down to the liquor store, buy some Everclear, proof it down with some water, and then do a sack run with that. Got about 2 or 3 quarts of faints around. Yeah. All right, folks, we're 45 minutes into this morning's live. We're going to jump off here, get to work, start recording and making mash. We got a busy day, and we will see you guys on Monday. Let's see, what's this? I just unpacked my new 40-gallon yesterday, and on the cap, there's a pop-off valve and a black plastic something. What is that? Any idea? Yeah, that's a negative relief valve. So that solves the problem of if you're running a Thumper, you have a pressurized system. And if you turn that steel off, if you turn the heat off and let it cool down without opening up that system, you create a negative vacuum. And if you've ever seen a collapsed steel, not a steel that's blew up, but one that has collapsed in on itself, that's what that's from. You turn your steel off, all the hotness in the steel starts cooling down, creates a negative pressure and collapses the steel. So what you're talking about on your steel is a negative pressure relief valve. So that's a good thing to have on there if you have a Thumper. If you don't have a Thumper, you don't need one.
Between your Thumper and your pot, when you get done running, like immediately, even if you have that negative and positive pressure relief system, you should unhook you should unhook your system. You should create some airflow or give it the ability to breathe. As a just in case, maybe, who knows? Maybe you got a faulty negative pressure relief system. I mean, it's just a good thing to be in practice of doing. So.
Yeah, just open up one of those joints. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
All right, folks, we're getting out of here. We will see you guys Monday morning.
Later.